Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. And on today's episode of the Prime, we're going to dive into On Point Wrestling Entertainment. And we're going to talk about the week that was 05-21-26 edition of WWE content. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. And we're going to talk about Sunday Night Main Event. And believe it or not, I got a lot to talk about when it comes to what happened on Monday Night Raw this weekend. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point Huppin, my co-host, back on the saddle with me, brother, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. Well, welcome to the show, man. Happy Thursday, and a very happy Memorial Day weekend for all you out there, and for everyone who made the ultimate sacrifice so we can continue to make this show and continue to live our lives. We thank you and we salute you, TJ. I know your brother didn't give up his life, but we thank him for his service for every single day.
Appreciate it. Did you miss me?
Yeah, dude. Of course I did, man. I've been running WWE shows and UFL shows by myself. It's very lonely.
Did you miss me?
But yeah, good for you getting the schoolwork done, man. I appreciate that, man. But this stuff will always be here, so it's not but yeah, let's talk about some wrestling, man. We got a lot to talk about. It's been a while since we talked about some WWE action. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe to the podcast if you like what we're doing here at Prime Sports World. And let's not waste any time. Let's talk about what went down on Monday Night Raw. First, starting with our Fatu Roman Reigns segment. And I just want to, man, I got to find me a woman that treats me as good as the WWE treats Jacob Fatu right now. Because he's been treated like absolute royalty, man. It's crazy. So he's just my favorite part of this whole damn segment is he's just beating down the Usos, right? And they're just getting their ass kicked in the ring. And Roman Reigns' music hit, and he takes his sweet ass time getting to the ring. Like he's doing that whole walk he does. Like it was faster than what his normal strut to the ring is, but not a lot. Not by a lot. Like your brothers are getting beat down by Jacob Fatu. Now I'm just gonna sweet walk my ass into the ring. I'm gonna enjoy my music. It's just so funny. But Jacob Fatu ends up challenging Roman to tribal combat. Apparently, if you challenge Roman Reigns to a match in tribal combat, apparently you can't say no. So if you ever see Roman Reigns anywhere, just shout tribal combat. You'll have to agree to whatever you want. Because there's no justification for him having another match right now, but they're gonna do it anyways at Clash in Italy. But
it's funny. I think the main issue with at least this feud is like it's just the same thing with like it was like we saw this already. Like Solo Sikoa did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like
and we did the same thing with Jacob. Yeah, we did the same thing with Solo Sikoa too, for real. Like basically, like word for like basically completely like because they fight over the Hula Follow or whatever it's called in tribal combat. But this will be for the title at Clash in Italy.
It was like at first it was Jay Uso did the same thing, but minus the tribal combat thing.
Yeah,
and then it went to Solo. Now it's on Jacob. So it's just a matter of like keeping it fresh and like not being repetitive.
I think you could make the argument when these two guys wrestle at Clash in Italy, Jacob Fatu kind of has to win. But it feels like it's too early to take the title off of Roman. So like they've kind of booked themselves into a corner here. Unless you're gonna have everybody, it's a no DQ match. So I guess they could technically have somebody return, or they could have somebody Solo Sikoa could show up and get involved, and they could kind of reunite that part of the family.
But it's also not too early to take it off of Roman because like how long has Roman been the guy?
I mean, forever. I mean, he's had the title since Mania. I mean, because everybody, because everybody has this preconceived notion that Obafemi is going to be the one to take the title off him, and since they're not even in any kind of direct contact with each other right now, it's like, oh, well, it's too early to take the title off him. But Obafemi doesn't have to.
I have a whole nother
3 months before SummerSlam to like figure shit out.
I have a whole nother gripe
Oh, I have an immense gripe with what they've been doing with Obafemi ever since
Obafemi,
Mania.
and
Yeah,
is
we're gonna
okay.
talk about it. We're gonna talk about it for sure. We'll get to it. But second, just back to this segment. I mean, I like the idea of tribal combat. I love what they're doing with Jacob Fatu. If you're trying to build a guy who's going to be the next big star, this is kind of how you do it. You make him look like a monster every week. But at some point, this has to culminate into victories at pay-per-views, and until that happens, I mean, it's still going to be like, okay, yeah, this is fine, but he needs to win the title.
Yeah, like if you're just gonna keep doing it, like it reminds me of oh God, like what who was it? Hey, I forgot who it was. Like there was somebody who like he kept challenging for the belt, and he just kept getting closer and closer, but he never won it. He never won it. Like
I mean, it was like Shinsuke Nakamura never, like, he had all the heel turns and he never.
matter of fact, it was probably him. Like that's probably who I'm thinking of. Cause like when him and AJ came into the when him and AJ came over, it was like it was perfect because they built up they played off their rivalry in New Japan and all that
Yeah,
other good
yeah.
stuff.
Um,
And
but
yeah, like
I love
Shinsuke
how they've
never
been.
got the title.
I love how they're treating Fatu, though. I mean, they're making him seem like an absolute monster. Like, he ate a 1D from the Usos, and he just popped right up like he was the Undertaker. Like, it was like, okay. Like, he eats a Superman punch from Reigns. He's still up. Like, it's crazy. Like, Jacob Fatu is over like Rover. Like, I think they've done a good job with him. I just think that they need to pull the trigger on it. I don't think you can have him lose another match, no matter how they get there. Like, it could be full of the shenanigans, full of the bullshit, but they just continue. Like, he's going to eventually lose. Like, it feels like, also, it kind of feels like when Braun Strowman first debuted, right? Because, like, Braun Strowman was over as hell when he first came in. Like, when he split away from the Wyatt family and was kind of doing his own thing as a solo act, like, he was over like crazy. And they waited too long to pull the title on him. And when they finally did, it was almost too late.
Yeah, and Braun was another one where like they didn't utilize him correctly. They didn't put a belt on him, and it's just it is what it is.
Braun Strowman is. I know we've had this conversation before, but Braun Strowman is one of my favorite wrestlers, like probably
Yeah.
of all time. Like, like when he was feuding with the Alliance and he was playing that massive cello on the entry ramp, and he was just breaking the strings off. Like, that clip will live in my brain forever. Like, it's just so funny. Like, anyways, moving on to the next segment. We got Finn Balor and JD McDonough going at it in a street fight. Finn Balor gets the victory. I'm just so over this, TJ. I don't know if you're in the same boat as me, but I need Finn Balor to separate from the Judgment Day. Like, he beat down Mysterio at Mania. That should have been it. And now he's had two. Then he's had two matches in back-to-back weeks against JD McDonough. First, he loses that match last week, and then he loses this. He wins this match, the street fight match. I don't need to see, like, this should have been the end of it. Finn Balor should have been moving into the Intercontinental feud, like into that scene from here. It feels like we've gone in reverse with this feud because he had the big match with Dominic, and now he's all of a sudden he's wrestling JD McDonough again. They're wasting all three of these guys, in my opinion.
Yeah, like it sucks because again, Finn Balor, like if Finn Balor was in any other promotion, he'd be he'd be a multi-time champ, all that other good stuff. Like you know my gripe with that. Like Finn Balor was the first Universal Champion, won it, got injured the night he won it, had to relinquish it, and they never put him back in the title in the title picture. That has always brought me the wrong way because what the hell? And I also don't like what they do to the other titles. Like like Dominic Mysterio is the Intercontinental. He's still the Intercontinental Champion, right?
No.
No, who
Penta's
is it?
had that.
Penta's.
Penta's got it.
Like I remember when it's almost like I remember when like every belt had aura.
I
You get what I'm saying?
I still think that Intercontinental title, ever since they put it on Penta, has felt importance. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
there are four guys that are like legitimately going after that title right now, and like, you have Javon Evans, you have Rusev, and then you have Ethan Page. like any one of those three guys could win that title off of Penta. They've done. I think that title has prestige. I just, when Dominic had it, he had it for so long and defended it so little, like it really did degrade the title. But now that Penta's got it, he defends it kind of all the time. I think they've done a good job of reviving it. But I just don't understand what they're doing with Finn Balor. Like, he should have gone into that scene. He should have been the next person to challenge Penta after Mania. He didn't even have to win that feud, but like, it just seems to put him in another spot instead of him just rewatching the Judgment Day again. And the Judgment Day as a whole feels extremely directionless right now.
Like, to me, I think what the problem is, like, they've already had like 4 different iterations, 4 or 5 different iterations of the Judgment Day, because like it started off with Edge. It was Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. Then it's Ed.
It's something that also never ever made sense to me at all. So Finn Balor loses that match to Edge, and then Finn Balor becomes the leader of the Judgment Day, and Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley both turn on Edge, even though Edge wins that match. Like, it never made any, like, I know Edge was like about to leave the company, so I guess that's why they justified it.
That's probably why they did it. Yeah.
100%. He was going to AEW.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this one. Like, I'm kind of over it. Like, I think the next person to lead the Judgment, because like we kind of saw this with that theme, like with that stable with Bailey, and it was like Bailey and like 3 Japanese girls, and then here comes Asuka, and all of a sudden Bailey gets phased out.
Yeah, I think eventually, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, one of those 3 women are going to be out of the group.
One of them 3 are going to be gone
at some point. Moving on from there, we had a backstage segment with Sol Ruca. She's talking to Becky Lynch, and she's talking about how she would like to get a title shot. Becky Lynch is, listen, you've lost your first two matches on Monday Night Raw. You haven't earned a title shot. And they kind of have a back and forth. It ends up being that they ended up booking a match at Saturday Night Main Event. We'll talk about here in a little bit. A non-title match. It's like, hey, if you could beat me in the ring, I will give you a title shot. But until then, you haven't won anything. You haven't done anything on the main roster. You don't just get a title shot just for the sake of having a title shot, which I absolutely love, because I hate when wrestlers are like, oh, give me a title shot. And the champions is like, oh, yeah, you haven't won a match in 3 months. Here you go. No, like, earn it. Like, Sol Ruca, I haven't been insanely crazy with the way they booked her ever since they brought her up to the main roster. I mean, she's lost her first 2 matches, and then she kind of messed up that the Snow Snatcher when she did it on Becky Lynch on her first, when she was going to sign the contract. She'll be fine. She'll win the match, and she'll probably win the title at Clash in Italy potentially.
Yes, but one Soul Snatcher is one of the like most creative, most best finishers.
It's cool. And it also takes a hell of a lot of like perfection to get it right. And the fact that she's only messed it up once is a testament to her talent.
And like, that's one of those finishers, like, bro, you can't, like, in the old WWE games, when you like could create your own finisher, you couldn't even do shit like that in the video game. Like, that's how far
it's nasty. It's super nasty.
That's how far the evolution of wrestling has come, where it's like you now have moves in real life that you couldn't even do in the game. Like, another one is that Thunderstruck finisher. I forgot the girl. I forgot the woman's name who does it. Like, she like literally just came over. She's in NXT right now.
It's not Nikita Lyons, is it?
No. But she's been the victim of that shit like 2 or 3 times, bro. Like, it's clean, bro. Like, it's, oh my god. When I find out, I'll send it to you. But like, I'm with you with the whole, like, let me challenge this person, woo. To an extent, it's different. So like, we remember like when John Cena got the US championship late in the latter stages of his career, and he does the John Cena US championship open challenge, right? One of the first few people who challenges him is who? Sami Zayn. Unless you were really in the trenches, you didn't know who Sami Zayn was. I had a friend out here from college. He knew who Sami Zayn was because he followed Sami Zayn when he was in Ring of Honor. and so
when
on
he
and
was
so
El,
forth.
El Generico.
When he was El Generico, I'm like, okay, that was all he did was throw. All they did to him was throw on the mask, and that was that.
Yeah,
The same thing.
it was very generic.
Very generic, and so like, and then the Sami Zayn had already had somewhat of a following then, and then he goes to NXT and he blows up even more. So like Sami Zayn's music hits, and he gives John Cena a hell of a match. We already knew Sami Zayn wasn't going to win, but that's also the beauty of an open challenge. Anybody can challenge, right? So Saul Ruka, that's like Becky Lynch, like, yeah, you lost your first two matches here. You think you can just walk up to me and especially like it's
Yeah,
different
yeah.
if it's different if Becky don't have a belt. If she just walks up to Becky and Becky don't have a belt and be like, hey, yeah, me, you next week, then Becky would be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna give you that. But because I got this here title, no, I'm not gonna give you that.
Yeah, I think that match on Saturday will be very entertaining. And I think Sol Ruka did a very good job on the microphone. She really held her own against one of the best in mic workers in the whole damn company right now, Becky Lynch. Like, she's as good as she gets when it comes to being on the mic. From there, we had the El Grande Americano versus the OG El Grande Americano. These segments were fun.
I'm sick of this.
I just kind of need that match to happen. I don't even need to see this on Monday Night Raw next week because I know they have one more Raw before. But all six of these guys all look the same. It's hard to tell who's on whose team. And Ludwig Kaiser or was it El Grande Americano? Just maybe don't make it. Maybe just don't make out excessively in an elevator. Just a thought there. But yeah, just having a terrible time. This match this match versus match could not happen soon enough. I'm over this. These six wrestlers and this feud. El Grande Americano with Raro and Bravo should win. He's over like Rover in AAA, and he continues to just let him continue doing his thing and let the other three guys, not Chad Gable and not Brutus and Julius, the Creed brothers, let them go back to their original gimmick, because this has been I was over this before they added another one, and they kind of like refueled it a little bit, but I don't need to see this again.
The thing I love
these guys are really good in the ring, though, I will say.
No, like the thing and that's kind of like that's the saving grace. So it's like I'm kind of glad. Like, one of the things I was always that's always irked me about wrestling fans is people are so WWE centric that they forget that there's other promotions, right? And I came across this TikTok. This guy was like, he asks it's a very important question. Do you want your favorite wrestler to be successful as a wrestler, or do you just want them to be successful in WWE? Like, that's a very important question, because Jeff Hardy, while he was successful in WWE, Jeff Hardy goes to TNA and he's whoa. You get what I'm saying? AJ Styles was successful all over the world. Then he comes to WWE. The Creed brothers can wrestle. They can wrestle. We've seen it. Do you throw them in a spot like AAA? And it's like, I can showcase myself just a little bit more.
And the tag team divisions on both brands could use an injection of the Creed brothers back into it, because it's rough right now.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's rough. Just moving on from this segment.
I also think that's because the tag division that we grew up with, we were so spoiled. There were so many great tag teams. There were so many great stables.
We're not that far removed from the tag titles main eventing one of the nights of WrestleMania. Like, the fact that we've come this, like, neither tag team titles were even on the WrestleMania card this year. Like, which seems like it just seems crazy to me. From there, we had LA Knight, who was.
I'm sorry, but real quick, but speaking of tag teams, there's rumors, and usually where there's smoke, there's fire from this one particular wrestling source. There's rumors that Enzo and Cass are coming back.
I would leave legit. I know Big Cass's contract is running up real soon in AEW, but he like I'm not gonna talk about it here, but I would be legitimately shocked if Big Cass ever returns to WWE.
Why?
Ever.
Just a brief summary, like why?
It has to do with Corey Graves and
Carmelo.
and Carmelo. Yeah, I do not think he will come back. I do not think those two people I just mentioned would be up for that at all. And that's all I'm going to say about the matter. And Enzo, I don't think he will come back either.
So. He's been spotted at the Performance Center though. Like that's where that came from.
Okay, I mean, I would be legitimately shocked if he ever wrestled in the WWE again. Okay. But I think he has a better chance than Big Cass does, unless the two people that I mentioned earlier have buried the hatchet.
Buried the hatchet.
Yeah. So.
Well, one of them was not even there anymore.
Yeah, but the other one's still married to the other one.
But it's not like he has to He only has to. It's very minimal interaction with that one person. Like all they have to do is like put him on the show that the other person is not on.
I wouldn't hate being wrong about this particular. Because
that was a tag team that absolutely should have held gold, and the fact that they did it, like when you can cut a promo without a mic, you're over as fuck, and it's shame on Vince McMahon for fumbling that.
And you can't teach that.
I don't know. At that point, I didn't know what much more they needed to see to be like. Yeah,
Enzo was god awful in the ring, but
but that can be worked on. Like that can be fixed. Like that can be worked on.
And then everything that went down with him and Neville, like that was also very messy.
Yeah. But at the same time, like Neville's also not a saint either. All things considered.
I mean,
right? Like Neville's been on like several promotions his damn self. It's like, why can't you find a landing spot?
I mean, he's been in AEW basically since he got there. Like he's dealt with some injuries, and they have a billion wrestlers on their books right now, so that he doesn't get to be on TV all the time. And anyway, speaking about not being on TV all the time, perfect segue right there. After not being on TV for 3 weeks, LA Knight miraculously showed back up. He interrupted the Usos promo, calling them out for the same thing that Roman Reigns, the Vision stuff, which he's not wrong. And then he interrupted Michael Cole's interview with All Ego Ethan Page. Long story short, LA Knight should be more involved in TV segment. This is the only segment he got on TV, and I was wrong. He didn't interrupt the Ethan Page thing. That was he was just with the Usos, and then not on TV again. LA Knight should be on TV. I went to a rock concert. This weekend I went to the Sonic Temple. There was a night where I was wearing I think I was wearing a CM Punk shirt or some sort of wrestling shirt, and somebody behind me was talking about LA Knight. And then there was also a dude wearing a Penta shirt in the front row, and I was shouting Penta, and he kept looking back, and I kept dropping the. And anyway, so I started an LA Knight chant, and everybody in the fuck was doing it. It was like LA Knight, and they were like, yeah, like it was so funny. But anyways, LA Knight is over as hell, and the fact that they have nothing for him to do. He had that like stupid mini segment with Gunther like 3 weeks ago, and then he disappears off TV. Gunther goes to the other promotion, the other show, and he hasn't been on TV since. And then you put him on TV for this one little segment, which I imagine will factor into something in the future. But LA Knight should be on TV every week. He should be at least in some sort of feud. He should be involved in Intercontinental title or something. Or he could have been somebody that answered Obafemi's open challenge and had like somebody that gave it legitimacy, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But yeah, and then we had the moment with Michael Cole and Ethan Page. I love how they booked Ethan Page since he's come onto the main roster, and he probably is going to win the title against Penta on Saturday Night Main Event on Saturday. But yeah, the interview was awesome. Sat down with Michael Cole. Ethan Page kind of came out as this all ego guy, and that's basically the character he's been playing since he came over from AEW.
Please. Yes. Wait. Hey, Ethan Page came from where?
He was on AEW. He was I don't remember I don't think he ever won gold over there, but yeah, he was on AEW for a long time. Then he came over to NXT. He was the NXT champion, and then he came over to the main roster, right after WrestleMania.
Okay. So, yeah, again, like, do you think LA Knight is just a victim of like, hey, like we have too much?
Yeah,
Like,
I think so. I think the problem is with LA Knight is the fact that he doesn't. The WWE looks at him as like, oh hey, this guy is organically over. We don't necessarily have to put a title on him. People will continue to root for him. And that while that's probably true, but eventually, after several years of disappointment, people will eventually stop. The same thing happened kind of with Dolph Ziggler. Like people love Dolph Ziggler, and he was over as hell, and people continue to root for Dolph Ziggler. And then he just never really got over to the highest mountain. I know he cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and he was the title holder for a little bit. But after that after that Survivor Series, I kind of thought that Dolph Ziggler was going to get this mega push. It just never happened.
especially after that, like,
Yeah, he was the last man standing on that team that basically, that survived against the Authority back in the day. Like, man, got to be pushing like 15 years ago now. But yeah, LA Knight is like the company says like, yeah, this guy's organically over. We don't necessarily have to strap a title on him now to have him be like one of our main eventers. Like, he's already there, and he's obviously he's not Roman. He's not as good as Roman. He's not as good as Seth. He's not as good as Gunther. He's not as good as Fatu. He's not as good as Drew McIntyre. So like he kind of falls into like no man's land. Like you're too good to be like a mid card title guy, but you're also not good enough
not good enough.
to be
'Cause,
the
like,
main title holder.
I've seen like the backstage stuff of him, like he's supposed to win this, but he misses his spot, and or he does something that jeopardize, like he's botched a couple things, and like they let him have it backstage, and like obviously that stuff goes viral, and it's like, oh, this is why he's not where he's supposed to be, and so on and so forth. And I'm all like, that's not. I'm like, that's not a justifiable reason to just bury somebody. But then like I watch a reel with Chris Jericho doing an interview, and he's like, again, this just goes to how spoiled we were growing up. Like it's Austin and Triple H versus Jericho, and I forgot who his tag team partner was, but it's Jericho has Austin, and he has Austin in the walls of Jericho, right? And Triple H breaks it up by knocking him in the back of the head. But Jericho's like, when he hit him, he was like, it was like really, really soft, all things considered. And Jericho, like Triple H goes and he rolls out of the ring, he gets up and he goes onto the announce table because that was the next spot. Jericho puts Triple H in the walls of Jericho on the announce table, and you know how they like secretly talk to each other like during the match and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Triple H tells Jericho like, "Oh, I'm hurt," and Jericho's like, "What happened?" That's when Triple H tore his quad. Remember when
Oh,
he tore his,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like Jericho's like, "Well, what do you want to do?" Triple H like, "I want to do the spot." So like he wanted Jericho to put him in the walls with a
Man,
torn quad.
can you imagine?
The pain, yes.
No, like that's yeah.
And so it's like, but that kind of, so like back to what I'm trying to get to with that is like you had the guy that's now booking your matches was willing to put his body through an excruciating amount of pain just to put on a show for the crowd, and you can't even get to your spot right. It's like if you're Triple H thinking that, like, I guarantee there's nothing more that he wants than to put LA Knight over on somebody. Because if you ask him, like, to having the because like listen, all the names you just said, everybody's over. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, exactly. And
That's a
the other thing is they just don't have enough titles for how many people they have that are over right now. And like we'll get to Obafemi in just a few minutes, but they yeah I mean they have a bunch of wrestlers that are super over right now, but they just don't have enough titles for them to go after. And they definitely shouldn't add any more titles just to facilitate this. Like they just have to find a way to make wrestlers feel relevant while they're not going after a title. And like it feels like the WWE decided like if the wrestler is not going after a title, they're just not going to be on TV, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all. So
nah.
But anyways, and then I do enjoy the Ethan Page stuff. Moving on from there, let's talk about this women's tag team division because they're just kind of just throwing all of them together into one big group, kind of like exactly what they did with WrestleMania heading into WrestleMania. Because here, Paige and Brie Bella beat the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day starts to beat them up with Liv Morgan, and Bayley and Lila Valkyria come back and make the save. And something that's really frustrated me with the Paige and Brie Bella pairing is we have not gotten even once where they kind of talk about like a promo between the two of them where Paige talks about like how she ended up coming back to WWE, how they're friends with Brie Bella or like with the Bella twins, because that's never really been an on-screen relationship really. Like they never addressed it. Like they just kind of were like, and Paige now, she just came back a couple weeks ago. She already feels like she's just there. Like I maybe I'm in the minority there with that, but like she doesn't feel she comes back to WrestleMania, you win the title, you like she should feel special, but she just doesn't. And Bayley and Lila Valkyria are just kind of lost in the minutia here. And another thing that is bothering me about this women's division, Liv Morgan, who won the title at WrestleMania. I know Stephanie Valkyria got hurt, but the fact that she doesn't have a feud currently is ridiculous. You could have just had her put like a mini feud while you wait for Stephanie Valkyria to get healthy with Bayley or Lila Valkyria or just somebody else that she could end up like the fact that she's just kind of treading water right now. I don't. That's all I got to say about this. All of this.
No disagreement, man. No, again, the only thing I can say is like I love the evolution of women's wrestling.
Me too.
Like
the fact that we're having conversations like this is like because it frustrates me that like they're not doing more with this division. Like it's not the fact like I think that they could be doing more interesting stuff. Like they don't need to all be in the same segment all the time. Like they could have their own feuds. Like they don't have to mush all of the women's tag team titles all together. Like come on.
And don't they have like their own like? Don't they have like their own like they have their own mid card titles? Like they have a women's intercontinental championship.
They have a women's United States title that's never defended on TV ever. Like,
so it's like what it's. I don't like that. It's like what are we doing?
Especially that women's United States title. It feels like they debuted it and they don't give a fuck about it.
So it's like what are we doing? I have no issue. I have no no problem with what you just said. Like they have it's just one of those things. Like they just have to do better.
Moving on from there, it's time to talk about Obafemi. And obviously, the big talking point here is obviously Obafemi comes out, he does the open challenge, lights go black, and he gets attacked, and it in the dark, and you realize he's getting hit with F5s, gets hit with the 5 F5s, or 4 F5s. That's when you realize it's Brock Lesnar returning from quote unquote retirement. As he beats down Obafemi and Obafemi gets 3 weeks of this open challenge, and it's now over. TJ, I have a lot to say. I'll let you have the floor first.
So, I'm really okay. I understand like this is wrestling and people retire and come back all the damn time, but we need retirement to be just that. Like we need if you take your boots off or whatever kind of rain gear you wear, if you take that stuff off and you leave it in the middle of the ring and you wave to the crowd and you do that stuff like that, that's goodbye. That's thank you for the journey, thank you for the ride. It's been a hell of it's been a great one.
It's been 6 weeks.
See you in the next lifetime. Like, or I'll see you when I come back, but I'm not gonna wrestle, that type of thing. Right? It like you said, it's
Well,
been a month. It's been a month and a half.
I never thought that was Brock Lesnar's final match. Like I always thought that
I
he
I did just because of the type of person Brock Lesnar is.
like, but I also thought the retirement was so well handled and so out of nowhere that, like, if it had been his, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But I never thought. I always thought he was going to come back because his SummerSlams in where he's from, I always thought he was going to have his final match there. But sorry, go ahead, continue.
No, it's just that like I want retirement to be that. Like he left like he kind of left. I ain't gonna say like no one says like losing is leaving on a high note, but it's I can't remember like the last person to win their retirement match and so on and so like it was perfect. Like
So my issue is not as much about the Brock Lesnar side of this; it's the other side.
yes, it's absolutely the open family side of this because it's like how do you not put some kind of gold on this guy? Like he's
Well, so I because of where the title situation is on Raw, I thought it made a lot of sense for him to just do open. Like I thought the Open Family Open Challenge, I thought was a pretty fun idea. Like especially since there's no real title for him to go after right now, it made sense to me for him to like have these open challenges and have people like come out and accept the challenges. My problem with it has been he has not had, outside of this one time where he got beat down by Brock Lesnar, the people that have come out have not been credible. Like he just like, and then my one of my major gripes is when Otis came out and he kind of struggled to powerbomb him, and that image of him just like using the turnbuckle to use the powerbomb, it just was like it just didn't do it for me. Like I was like, and he was like, "Oh, I'm being super smart about this." Like, but you're supposed to be a powerhouse, and yeah, sure, you can be multi-dimensional, multi-layered, but in that instance, all people wanted to see Obafemi do was pick him up, no problem, and powerbomb him into the ground, 1, 2, 3. And the fact that he didn't do that, like, it just didn't sit well with me. And then the next week, he beats down Los Garzas, both of them at the same time. He carries them out from the backstage area into the ring, and it's like, okay, cool, that's fine. But it feels like if you're going to do open challenges, they should be for longer than 3 weeks before you're probably going to pull the plug on this now. Like, you couldn't have, like, dusted off Sheamus and had Sheamus come out and have a match with him. You couldn't have dusted off, because Sheamus still has that credible name. And if it's Sheamus, it comes out, and it's like, okay, yeah, if you just beat down a guy who's going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done, that gives you a little more credibility, because at no point during this Omos or Obafemi Open Challenge has he beaten anyone who I care about at all. Like if Omos had came out, that would have added a little more credibility to this Obafemi character. And the fact that my memories now of Obafemi right now are him struggling to powerbomb Otis and then getting beat down by Brock Lesnar is just not the image you want. They've done a terrible job of booking him post-Mania. That's horrible. Like he was over as hell coming out of that, and then he does a good job. I like he beats down Grayson Waller. He starts this Obafemi challenge. You think it's going to be fun, you think it's going to be cool, and then it lasts 3 weeks, and all of a sudden he's getting beat down by Brock Lesnar. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't get behind it.
No one should get behind it. And the whole thing with Otis is like, to me, like that's nothing like first off, Otis is a wide human being.
I'm aware, but like we see Braun Strowman like rip that dude apart. Like I wanted to see like him literally rip.
Like Braun Strowman's like 6'8", dude. Like he's massive. That's not fair. It's not fair. Braun Strowman flipped over a fucking
car, ambulance.
Like, come on, bro. Like, no.
But if they're building him to be the next big monster, the next big guy, like he should be able to do that.
And he did. Like it's just like Otis. Like I said, Otis is just a wide human being. Like he just that's all that was, bro. Like he still did it. Like it is what it is. Like again, like I that part doesn't bother me. Like it's the like you said, like it's the rest of it. Like it's they basically had him beat Lesnar at Mania and was like, we don't have anything lined up of significance. Like just like again, like he's also one of those dudes where you
Like, what do
didn't
you? What,
need
not not to inter-
he didn't need Brock Lesnar to go over. Like Oba Femi
Yeah,
was like when you have little kids in the audience and little kids at home
yeah.
doing your walk,
I mean, I was at this when I went to
you're over.
WrestleMania. When I went to WrestleMania, right? Like there was a DJ just playing nothing but wrestling intros, and at the Luxor's. I don't know if you've ever been to Vegas or not, but at Luxor's.
It's been a long time, but yeah.
So they had a DJ play nothing but wrestling intros, and like there was no intro that was more over than Elbow Femi's. Everybody was doing the strut, man. Like it was so cool, and we were all chanting Oba. We all were fairly intoxicated, so it also helped. But dude, yeah, and now like my other quaff with this is like, what do you do with Obafemi for the next 3 weeks before you get to Clash of the Castle? Because you can't do open challenges anymore, and I imagine we will not see Brock Lesnar again until that match. So what do you do
But
with him?
that's kind
What do you
but like but that,
what do
but that's also kind of like perfect because it's like Brock got under his skin and like it's the complete opposite, right? So like
yeah, yeah.
when he challenged Brock, he came out like week after week and like basically showed like, yo, I'm the real deal. Brock is like, nah, bro, I can literally do what I did to you, and it's gonna drive you so insane that you can't get your hands on me until I say you are, right? So it's like Overfilm probably gonna come out next Monday looking for Brock, and Brock's not there. And he's gonna go on the fucking rampage again. He's probably gonna like he's it's probably gonna take 4 or 5 people to try to give him the calm down. He's gonna demolish them all,
We will
and
see.
they're gonna do like subtle teases of Brock Lesnar's music hidden, and he's
Or
not
Paul Heyman,
there.
or Paul Heyman's going to come out. By the way, I'm a huge Paul Heyman guy, but I think there might be like too much Paul Heyman on WWE programming right now. Because he's just everywhere. Anyways, but also so this is just me hypothetically booking things that I was like fantasy booking. Like I always thought that like when Brock Lesnar returned, like from what is quote unquote retirement, he was gonna like Gunther's gonna win the title at Clash in Italy, and then as the final like during that build up to the SummerSlam, he was like, there's only one person that I want to challenge this title for at SummerSlam, and that's Brock Lesnar. And I'm calling you out of retirement. Let's have our final match at your hometown. Either you win the title or you retire forever. And that's always what I thought was going to happen. And now you have Brock Lesnar just come back 6 weeks later. No matter what happens now at Clash in Italy, that match potentially with Gunther now loses some of that shine. And I don't know. That's just this whole segment bothered the hell out of me. I can't tell you why. Like I actually already told you a bunch of reasons why, but it just
No, it's fine. Like I get it, bro. Like it's a frustrating thing. Like it's like you gave him this massive moment at WrestleMania, then you don't capitalize on it. Like you don't even put him in any kind of like. But I also kind of get it though. Like he's too quote unquote over for a mid card title, and then
yeah.
because of what you built for like either heavyweight championship or WWE championship, you can't just thrust him in there. I mean, like you could, like we've seen you do it in the past.
I mean, he could have been in the Jacob Fatu role, but I guess it probably made more sense to like I don't know. Moving on. We'll just move on because we spent like 20 minutes on that one
No,
segment that
it's
lasted
fine.
3 minutes. But moving on from there, obviously Seth Rollins beats Austin Theory, and then the Vision gets involved, and the Street Profits come out. This all is going to lead to a match between the Street Profits and the Vision Saturday, and eventually, I think actually that match between Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins is happening in Italy. But yeah, this segment was fine. Um, I mean, it's just another Vision Seth Rollins segment to end the show, which is, a little bit different than, Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns ending the show every single week. But I feel like we need to move I think we need to move Seth Rollins away from just this feud. Like, I just feel like he's been feuding with these three people for like a year now. I know some of that was interrupted by him being injured, but I think we need to move. And I think Austin Theory also, like, they made a big deal about bringing him back. And the fact that he wasn't like a mole with Seth Rollins was actually a super missed opportunity. Like, you just feel like he doesn't feel special. Like, he never felt special. Like, they spent, like, I don't know. But TJ, tell me why this was better than why I'm complaining about this.
The only thing I can say about it is, like, this is like the second or third time they've teased like a Montez for heel turn.
Well, because they had that backstage segment also where they were talking about that. I didn't talk about it on the show, but yeah, they had a backstage segment as well. And also, was it Montez Ford ate the spear for Dawkins?
He's just he's just the one his sale jobs are fucking amazing. Like Montez,
Yeah,
and
Montez Ford is going to be a main eventer at some point.
And shout out to both Montez Ford and Dawkins, because they are both expecting children now. So shout out to that. That's fucking beautiful. It's like I only feel like the Vision have tag titles because they had to put something on this group, otherwise it was gonna fail and it was gonna end. And it wasn't even it borderline wasn't even going to be their fault, because Braun Breaker gets injured at the absolute worst time, and then
same thing with Bronson Reed. I mean,
Bronson Reed gets injured at the absolute worst time, and it's like Austin Theory is not a main eventer. People despise Logan Paul. Like, no matter how good he looks in the ring, like they know Logan Paul, they know the type of person he is, and they just like, why are you here, bro? Like, first off, like, you should be in somebody's prison, like, not even joking, but you're here. And it's like, why? And it's like, why? Like, it is what it is. And then Seth Rollins coming, like, Seth Rollins is, real talk, the only one who has a legitimate gripe with the Vision, because damn it, it was his.
Yeah,
it was his, and they ousted him.
And he had the title when he got hurt. So, like, they beat him up, and then CM Punk took the title. But I just kind of need Seth Rollins, and I just kind of need these all. I think the Street Profits better win. Like, let's just talk about Saturday Night Main Event real quick as we get into some predictions. But as overall Monday Night Raw, outside of my endlessly complaining about the Brock Lesnar segment, it actually was fairly entertaining. Like, I enjoy, especially the Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns stuff. I think they've done such a good job with those two guys and the Usos in general. I can't wait to see what they end up doing at Clash with that particular segment. So, moving on from there, let's do some predictions real quick, TJ, for Saturday Night Main Event taking place in my old stomping grounds, Fort Wayne, Indiana, on Saturday. And I actually stopped by Fort Wayne last Tuesday, actually, and saw a bunch of my old former coworkers, some of my old friends out there in Fort Wayne. They're all, my old wrestling friends at least, are super excited about this, and they all bought tickets, and so they're all going to send me some videos and stuff. So pretty excited about that for them, people in the Fort Wayne, because they never really get main events like this. They usually get like a house show or something. Yes. Yeah, like in the middle of the week, you can't really enjoy. But yeah, let's talk about the first match: Penta versus Ethan Page, TJ, for the Intercontinental title. I think Ethan Page is winning the title here. Who do you got?
I think Ethan. I'm gonna go Penta. They're gonna put on the show, but Penta gonna hang on.
From there, we got the World Tag Team Championships. We got the Vision going up against the Three Profits. TJ, who we got here?
Vision, because Bronson, not Bronson. It would be amazing if Bronson Reed just came back and just fucked shit up. But he's not. I don't think he's anywhere close to returning.
He tore his bicep. He's got.
yeah, I just think Brian Breaker's just gonna come out and ruin. I ain't gonna say ruin it. Like I just think it ends in the DQ. Like Bronson comes out, then Seth comes out, and then like it's no longer a tag match. Like or they do something where like the ref gets knocked out, and then Bronson still comes out. Seth comes out, and the ref stays down long enough for the Vision to do whatever they need to do
Well,
to
you know how
retain.
refs stay down. They
Oh
definitely
boy, boy, do I!
I'm actually going to take the Street Profits here. I think it's time to put this title back on them. The Vision have done nothing with those tag team titles. I think the Street Profits will give that a little more credibility. Give me the Street Profits. From there, we got the WWE World Women's Tag Team Champions. We got Brie Bella going up against the Unstoppable Forces, Lash Legend and Nia Jax. I'm going to take Paige and Brie Bella, but who knows? TJ.
I don't care. Like I just it's nothing against them. I just don't care. I think the Irresistible Force is probably like they get gold back. Like it's because it's like how. Like I understand it's wrestling, but it's like it's just a matter of like it's one of like style.
It wouldn't surprise me if Nikki Bella came back and turned on Paige for stealing her WrestleMania moment, and that causes
Then
Lash
that's
Legend and Nia Jax
but
to
then
win the
that's
titles
also
back.
but then that's also stupid because she didn't steal anything. You were hurt.
Yeah, but you know how wrestling is though. Like you stole my moment while I was hurt. Like that could be me. From there, we're going to swing into Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss going up against Jade Cargill, Michin, and B-Fab. And for everything that is holy, Jade Cargill, Michin, and B-Fab have to win this match.
Have to win this match.
And I think we will be pushing the shenanigans buttons extra hard during this match. I imagine the Fatal Attraction, I think is what the team that came up from NXT a couple weeks ago, or right after WrestleMania. They will be involved. They will cost Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss because they're all feeding against each other. Jade Cargill, Michin, and B-Fab have to win this match somehow, or by hook or by crook.
No, it's like they have to win this match.
And then the final match on the card. Obviously, there could be some matches added on Friday as we are recording this on Thursday night, but I don't think there will be. Becky Lynch is going up against Sol Ruka in a non-title match. TJ.
Give me Soul.
I'm agreeing with you on that. I think Sol Ruka almost borderline has to win this match because if she loses again, I think she'll start to lose some of that credibility. Losing 3 matches in a row at the main roster, it'll feel very similar to what happened with Karrion Kross. Super dominant NXT, comes up, loses first 2 matches, and he's just cooked after that. And getting her a victory on it, even though Saturday main event is kind of like it's kind of like a house show, a glorified house show. We're being completely honest with you. It will be a big time victory for her to get a victory here in a big time event. So, and Sol Ruka is getting the victory. What do you think will be the main event? If I was betting, I would say it's probably Ripley, Flair, Bliss, and Cargill, and Michin and B-Fab, because I think there's a lot of star power in that match.
I'm of the mindset that like some kind of gold has to be the main event, and
Intercontinental.
no, that World Tag Team Championship match got to be the main event.
I think if it's not going to be that tag match, it'll be the men's Intercontinental Championship. I would be shocked if the tag team titles, the way they've been booked, nobody cares about those titles right now. But as I mentioned all the time, I am wrong all the time. So we'll see. But let us know down in the comment section what do you think about Saturday Night Main Event. What do you think will happen in each of these 5 matches? But yeah, thank you very much for joining us here at On Point Wrestling Entertainment. This has been our This Week in WWED 05-21-26 edition. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast if you like what we're doing here. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, hope you all have a very blessed and a safe Memorial Day. Remember what we have this holiday for, and remember what this country is about. I'm David Huffman. Right there is my co-host. Welcome back, Mr. TJ Hopkins. And TJ, me and you at the UFL, we are deadlocked at 19-12. We have this, and I have much different picks than you have for this week, actually. So there could be some swaying going on in those rankings because we only got 2 more weeks, man.
Man, it's crazy how how fast it went.
Yeah,
But
I
then
think it's
again,
all.
but it's all like you gotta keep on like 10 weeks ain't nothing but
And they don't have a buy in there at all, so it's just like
right.
they'll
It's
keep
10
going.
weeks ain't 10 weeks ain't nothing
And,
but two
and,
and a half
and did you
months.
see Oklahoma City? They've announced Oklahoma City's getting a team in 2027
I did not see that.
or 2028. Yeah, Oklahoma City. So they're gonna have to add another team because you can't just add one. That does make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, what is it? It's 8 teams now, right? Like
Yeah. So I mean, 9. What do you have to add another unless you're gonna do some sort of buy situation. But anyways,
no,
that's
they gotta they gotta add a 10-10. So like if you're going Oklahoma City, you gotta go like
Seattle.
either see yeah, or like either bring a team back
All right, I mean,
that was already there.
it's got to be. I mean, it's got to be a team that has a college presence. So that's kind of been the way they've done things. Like a team that has somewhat of a college presence. Like
I
if
would
you think
kick
of
hey,
like Syracuse,
would
maybe.
no, I would kickstart I would try Nashville. Like there's already talk of like moving the Titans. I mean, they're already there. But, like they're putting the Super Bowl. What
Yeah.
year is
By
the Super Bowl
2030,
going in
and
2030?
they're this is just on the rumor mill, but they might get Mania at 2028 after that stadium is built, their new
Yeah,
one.
the Titans in the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, there's talks that Mania is going to be like one of the first sporting events in the new stadium. But that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, thank you very much all for joining us here at Prime Sports World. TJ, what do we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat, time sir.
Hell yeah. We'll be back here next week. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe out there. Take it easy, brother.
Appreciate you, man.